Hello lil daw kollha li qegħdin issegwuna. Illum fit-tielet programm qegħdin nistaqsu nassumu jew ma nassumux. Today our program will be held in English since our guest is English speaking. Therefore, I will translate the introduction again for our viewers and guests. Hello to all those that are watching us. During today's third program, we are asking to assume or not to assume. On behalf of Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, we welcome you to another program of Choosedays. We initially were going to have two guests today. However, during our preparatory meeting with our guest present here today, we were so amazed by the wealth of experiences, challenges, and achievements she related to us during this meeting that we decided to make her our star guest of our week. So, ladies, gentlemen, and all young people following Choosedays this afternoon, let me introduce you to today's guest, Angela Bettoni. Hello, Angela, how are you?
I'm okay, thanks.
That's great. To all those watching us today, Angela is truly larger than life. But first and foremost, she is a young person, and we are a youth agency. And this is what initially inspired us to invite you to our program, following a very interesting article which you wrote online. Perhaps you can introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a bit about yourself, Angela.
I'm Angela, and it's great to be here. And I am 19 years old. I'm half Sri Lankan and half Italian, and I have Down syndrome. I love performing arts and educating for inclusion in performing arts. In my spare time, I love to write, watch films, and swim. I have just finished my advanced diploma in performing arts at M-Class Master.
That's perfect. I heard you say you love to swim, so it's actually very good for you that you came to Malta. When we first had our meeting, I got to know that you have been in Malta for the past 7 years and you lived abroad several times, actually. Do you care to share other places you lived before? And if you would like to share with us how you ended up right in the center of the Mediterranean Sea on this island called Malta.
Well, I was born in Oxford and lived there for 7 years. I moved to Rome because I kept getting ill in the UK because of the weather. And Rome was good because they had English-speaking schools, which I attended, one of the few ones. And after I finished primary school, we then moved to Malta because of the language, the good schools, and the weather.
So you love the sunny weather we have here.
Yes.
And obviously it shows that you lived a bit in England, I must say, because your accent is very it's a strong Oxford English language, you know. Angela, we heard you say in the beginning that you are very interested in performing arts through your studies in MCAS in Mosta. Could you please tell us about your experience in London regarding an inclusive theatre that we heard about?
Actually, I've been doing performing arts for many years. I began doing it in Rome at my school. And then when I came here, I continued it at School of Performing Arts, also known as SOPA. And at my own levels, I decided to join MCAS to study performing arts. And through MCAS, I got a Ratman class placement to London for 3 weeks, where I volunteered in an inclusive theatre called Chicken Shed. When I in Chicken Shed, I was helping out for the performances for the living children, and we also had some school outreaches. What I love best with the theatre is that it's catered for everyone. Those who have disabilities and not. Those from different ethnic backgrounds and different backgrounds in general. And that experience really shaped my view on life and in performing arts in general. I also realized that it is possible for inclusion to actually happen, and that it's very important to start to work with children from when they're very little, so that when they grow up, they would accept that being different and diversity is normal.
That's very nice, actually, of because you love performing arts and theater, and it's very inclusive, especially because of ethnicity as well. You said they come from different backgrounds, and obviously, your mother is from Sri Lanka, your father is from Italy, and you have been around in Rome and London and Malta, so it's a multicultural experience as well. It's a very nice thing. Actually, I can see you here, pictures that you showed us in our preparatory meeting before, where you were in Chicken Shed Theatre doing a play called Tales from the Shed, where we can see you obviously performing around. Looks really cool, actually. We have also some pictures of you when you lived abroad, when you were young. We can see you here in Rome next to the Cathedral. It's wonderful. Here you're in Oxford, right?
Yes, yeah.
And here you were in Oxford, London, reading because it was a rainy day.
And I love
you
books.
You love books a lot. We will ask you about some of the books that you wrote as well later on. So far we know about Angela's hobbies and your previous locations, but we still have to learn a bit more. So we prepared the game for you. Let's play. What is your favorite? This or that? Let's go, Angela. Dog or cat?
Dog.
Dog. Toast or eggs?
I would say toast. It's a
Okay,
hard
that was
one.
a hard one. Maybe you like
It's a hard
eggs
one,
on
yeah.
toast. Cake or pie?
Cake. A certain cake.
Cake. It was an immediate answer. Do you have a favorite flavor?
Chocolate. Chocolate.
Chocolate. Money or free time?
Free time.
Candy or popcorn?
I would say candy, actually.
Okay, good. Pen or pencil? Because you love writing.
I would go for pan for certain.
All right. And the pancake or waffle?
Pancakes.
That was very sure. Books or movies?
I like both, but if I had to say, I would say books, because it allows you to imagine more.
Oh, that's very beautiful. You create a movie inside of your mind, actually. And this was a
Yeah.
really hard question for you because you write books and you're in performing arts. So writing or drawing now?
Writing for certain.
Dancing or acting? Hmm.
That's a good question, actually. But I would say action.
Acting, okay.
Yeah.
Now, mountains or ocean?
Ocean for certain. I love it. I love the water and I love the noise.
Okay, the waves, the noise waves make.
Yes.
And now for the last one, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee. You would really need it when you need to write a book, right?
Like first thing in the morning, doing breakfast is coffee.
It's always coffee. Perfect. So now, Angela, to move on to other issues, we just passed October, which was Down Syndrome Awareness Month, and the Down Syndrome Awareness colors are actually blue and yellow. That is why we have a blue and yellow background, and we decided that you would wear blue and I would wear yellow for our audience to know about it. Um, Angela, as a person who has Down syndrome, what are your thoughts about these awareness days and months that are always being marketed? Are they actually educating society and influencing any government policies?
Well, I think it's a very good thing that people should become more aware of whatever the issue is, or the day, or month, or the awareness day that it is. And I also think that it is very important that her message has to remain always positive. And it also shows a range of abilities because each person who has Down syndrome is each different and unique in their own ways. And although we may struggle with certain common things, that basically, like, we are a person like anyone else is.
Exactly. And in fact, that is why we wrote the program because we were inspired by your article, uh, which stated no assumptions. And our poster for this program, as you can see here, we put you in the background facing the wall to add a bit of mystery, obviously. However, not to assume about anything about a person. That was a lovely message, actually, that you portrayed just now. The article that you wrote was posted from Opening Doors, which is an organization that you have been attending for the past year. You wrote on the article. You can tell us maybe something a bit about it, about the organization, and your experience there.
I really enjoy it. And opening doors has really taught me a lot and opened my eyes to things that I didn't know or expect to see. And I have really learned a lot from it. It has also opened doors has also given me opportunities. Like for World Disability Day, they invited me for a panel discussion at St. James Cavalier on disability, where we had a workshop on the school outreach, and they also gave me the opportunity to give me a blog, which you saw on the web page.
The blog which was actually the thing that caught our eye actually from social media when so I can show the article. This was the article that you wrote from Opening Doors. It's called No Assumptions Please. That is you writing away on your laptop, maybe having a mug of coffee with you. um, and you wrote this we would say wonderful article. However, it had some very interesting things written on it. We will speak about it very soon. However, we wanted to ask you what are your thoughts about employing people with Down syndrome, as it has become a part of the law with the big companies now.
I think it's a very good thing. And more people with disabilities in general, well, not just with Down syndrome, are able to work and want to work, just like anybody else can. But the main thing is that the job has to be matched to the needs of the person and what they really want to do as well. And they need to be given any training or support that they need in the job that they're doing.
Exactly, and it's really good that they look at the person. And what would you like to be? What would you like to continue working on performing arts?
Well, I would say I would like to do to advocate for inclusion in performing arts.
Okay, so you would you can actually bring awareness through your art as well. That's really nice. Okay, so Angela, when we had our meeting of getting to know each other, you mentioned also writing, and obviously we said that you really like writing. Can you share with us your journey as a young entrepreneur yourself?
Well, I won't call myself as a young entrepreneur, but for me, it's writing. It's like it's love and enjoy, but I'm not doing it to a business. It's from myself. The first book was published when I was 9 years old, and it's a present for my first communion for my family. And instead of giving me the usual first communion present, it was money to buy the book in this case. And after that, I have some published in my books. My school, St. Martin's College, organize a book loans for my third and fourth books. And the money that was raised was given to a charity in Sri Lanka called House of Hope. It's for girls with intellectual disabilities to get life skills. And right now, I have just finished my fifth book, and I have been trying to find a publisher or an agent, but I haven't had any luck so far.
That's really nice, actually, where you said that you're not doing this for business, and I really admire it. And to our viewers that are watching, you're also contributing in a way to your mother's heritage. You said that you're giving money to a Sri Lankan charity as well. I have some pictures actually of your passion for writing. Here we can see you at your book launch at St. Martin's School. These are the books that you sold for charity, Hands of Hope in the bookshop of Sri Lanka. Here is your first book, your second book, which is more adventures now. Then we have your third book, which you told me it's kind of like a fantasy, this one.
Yeah.
And then we have your fourth book here. We will keep your fifth one as a surprise. And these are the notes full of your stories that you sent us. I mean, you write a lot there. You have a lot of notes going on. Um, which genre do you prefer to write in? Because you have fantasy and you have.
I prefer like family and young adults. Or sometimes young adults combined with family.
Okay. And do you want to tell us about your fifth book, or are we going to keep it a secret for now?
I could, but a tiny bit. All you have to know is it's a character from that world and the mistakes that he makes. Other than that, I can't tell you what the plot is because it might give the book away.
No, it's best that we do like we did with the poster. We'll keep everything a mystery.
Yes.
But we will be looking forward to it. And will you be publishing it somewhere and where we can search for it then?
I'm hoping so. I'm really hoping so.
And during this time, I think you had more time inside as well to write. Did you write
Yeah.
more actually during this pandemic?
Yes, I think I could publish my sixth book, I think.
Ah, okay. So it's not just the fifth. The fifth one is ready, and you're already on the way to the sixth one. Okay,
Yes.
it was a surprise. Really, really good. I mean, you were very productive then during the pandemic. That's amazing. Okay. So today's quote, obviously, we were very inspired by the article that you wrote for Opening Doors, which was called "No Assumptions, Please." Actually, since we were speaking about your performing arts in theater, and to not assume that people cannot be actors or dancing. And we know that you did an assignment in a TV studio in MCAST Mosta, and we are going to show that to our audience, Angela, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it.
You're just going to say about that?
Carla said I had to stay as far away from you as possible.
Cool. You're standing really still.
Maybe you should come in.
Yeah, I could do that. You're really different than I thought you were going to be.
I know. Sexier, right? I understand. You're nervous. I understand. It's alright. You can be nervous.
I am nervous.
Good. So am I. I like this room.
Yeah, my mom built it so that I can feel like I'm outside.
And does it work?
Most days I have a really good imagination.
Ah, Princess Madeline in her glass castle.
I'm not a princess.
Good, because I'm not a prince. Have you ever left this house?
No.
What would happen if you went outside?
Probably spontaneous combustion.
Oh, so we stay inside.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Where would you go if you could?
The ocean.
The ocean. Why?
Well, it covers 30% of the planet, and it's approximately 3 miles from here, and I've never seen it.
That's a bad choice, girl.
Right.
Well, assuming you can't swim,
Yeah, you're right, but I could try.
good.
Bravo! How did they say? And they throw roses at you. Yeah, that was really good. And you mentioned the oceans as well. Again, you're
Yes,
you're a big fan of the sea. I'm betting now. So
but I can't
obviously
swim. But I
you
can
can
swim.
swim. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Swim. Yes, and he asked you if you can. It would be a big disappointment, obviously, if you love the sea and you cannot swim.
Yeah.
No, but it's great to do. So for today, that is why we chose the quote from your article, which was "No assumptions, please." We did one like this with the quote, "No assumptions, please" as well. So, since we were so inspired with your Opening Doors article, which we have been mentioning quite a few times during this program, we chose today's quote from there. We read the article you wrote, and there were some stories where people kept assuming behavior around you and babying manners towards you. You mentioned. If you can share maybe some of these stories with our viewers who have not read the article yet.
So in the blog, as you have seen, I have shared some experiences in it, and one of them was at the doctor's, and the doctor assumed that I couldn't sign my name, and he also assumed that I had problems working. And another time, I was at a different doctor's place, and she asked my mum questions which were directed at me, and I could ask them perfectly. I mean, this can also happen with other people, like with teachers or teaching assistants, I don't know. And it's when they talk, they change their tone around me into this sweet, soothing voice, like if you to a baby, it's like your tone is more high and soft and more slow because you don't know if they're understanding you or not. But at my age, I do. And I'm struggling against that.
Of course, obviously, because this is what you wrote in your articles. There, we encourage our viewers to go and read this article. It's very interesting. There are some more stories about it. Not to assume around anyone actually. So, do you have any message that you want to give our viewers?
Yes, I do actually. So if you see someone who is different than you, please don't try to make any assumptions about them. But just stop, think before you assume, just give them a chance. And remember, as I said in my blog, no assumptions, please.
It deserves that we put up the poster again, okay? So we'll
Okay.
tell them again. So no assumptions, please. This is the message that Angela Bettoni is giving to all of you, and for you to keep remembering this. It was a very positive message, actually, that if you have someone around you who is different or unique, to not assume. So we will end the program here on a positive note. Thank you so much, Angela, for making time to be on our program, where we ask to assume or not to assume. We congratulate you on all your successes and wish you all the best. We feel confident that everyone who tuned in stayed to the end, because it was so interesting. I loved it myself as well. And after today's program, you, to our viewers, how are you feeling? Will you think before making assumptions about people? Has Angela's experience changed your perspective? Think about it. Like Angela said, stop, think, and don't assume. Thank you all to those watching us. We hope you enjoyed it. Tune in again for Tuesdays, next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Take care, stay safe, and be careful before you assume, because as the saying goes, see you next time.